Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my weekly review for this week's episode of Under the Dome. This week we got to see Under the Dome Season 2, Episode 12, which was called Turn. Alright, good stuff. And as always, my reviews do contain spoilers, so if you guys have not seen this episode yet, you may not want to watch this review. Okay, that said, what did I think about the episode? Well, basically, for this week, I missed the review the night of. Usually I get the review done that night. So I'm a few days later at this point now, so I'll keep my review pretty brief in terms of it. This is the lead up to the season finale for Season 2, and it hasn't really felt like we're leading towards a season finale. It doesn't feel like we're in the type of storyline right now that will be resolved at a season finale with Under the Dome. And I think what we're going to see is something similar to the first season finale in the second season, where we're left at a cliffhanger. CBS has kind of talked about that. And of course, as I've been talking about in my reviews, we do not know if they're going to renew Under the Dome for Season 3 or if it's going to be canceled at Season 2. The ratings were dropping for a long while, but this episode right here got 7 million, so that's kind of a boost. We haven't had 7 million episodes since episode 8. So, and a lot of the ones under that were just under 7, around 6. So, with regards to what I think is going to happen with that, I mean, we'll have to wait and see how the finale does and then see what CBS decides. It's still a lot of views in terms of the show. 7 million is a lot of people, right? But that's a big network. You know, CBS usually pulls in huge ratings anyway, so who knows if they're going to renew it for a third season. We'll have to just wait and see. That said, if this is my second last episode review for Under the Dome, as usual with this show, I'm kind of at a loss. I may do a full series review if it is to get canceled at the end of Season 2, with this possibly being my second last episode review for it. So in terms of this episode, this was a pretty crazy episode. Major spoilers because we did have character deaths. But who knows if the characters are going to stay dead. I mean, Under the Dome is kind of one of those shows where even if a character dies, you can't say for sure they'll never come back. Melanie's a good example of a character that did come back after they were killed. She was kind of like introduced as a character that had been brought back to life by the Dome, which I always thought was weird, and I still think is weird now. And, you know, this episode we have the weird thing with her where she gets sucked down into some kind of portal. Is it a portal to the outside world? Is it a new portal as the Dome is closing? Is it their way out, so to speak? Is Barbie's dad going to bring the egg into the Dome? It seems like he might. So we'll have to wait and see what happens as the Dome is slowly contracting. So we have all those things, of course, which took up a good portion of the episode. We have everybody moving into the center of town, that kind of thing, and them kind of scrambling to do anything they can to try to either find a way out of the Dome or stop it from, contracting by getting the egg back or doing something. So in addition to that, we also have, of course, the death of Pauline and Lyle in the same episode. So I did like when Big Jim stabbed Lyle and killed him, and I did think that it kind of added some interesting things to their story in terms of them, because Jim was the one to actually save Lyle, and in the past he had not done that for other characters from the first season. When he was, they were drowning, he has left them to drown rather than actually helping them out. So his kindness has actually caused him a lot of sorrow to lose Pauline. So it's tragic for him as a character, and it's a little profound in terms of, him being nice, and because he was nice to Lyle and saving him, it actually backfired and cost him. So the way it played out was a little weird to see. I thought it was kind of shocking, but you kind of couldn't know what was happening because you could kind of see that Lyle was kind of going after them anyway while the rest of the group was sort of standing there. And so it was a little weird. In terms of it, though, it's weird when a character gets killed off and Under the Dome. Now, Pauline and Lyle, they were Season 2 characters. We didn't really know anything of them in Season 1. They weren't really in the show. So it's not like we've lost one of those mainstay first season characters in this episode. And it was pretty traumatic in terms of a scene to watch. Now, That said, because you have the dome with the, Melanie going into the tornado thing, and you have all these other crazy elements going on, it's hard to take it seriously. And that's the big thing with this show, is that when you do have a character death, it's difficult for me to buy it. It's almost like I kind of buy it, and it's like, whoa, that was crazy, what's happening, but it's kind of like halfway. Like I'm not entirely into the experience of like, oh, this character died or whatever. A lot of the story feels very contrived and feels very silly, to the point where it's like, oh, well, yeah, who knows what's going to happen next, and it kind of feels like I don't entirely buy into the world. In season 2, season 1, that was not a problem. That I didn't feel that in season 1, but season 2, the deaths we've had and the way they've gone, it's kind of like it's taken me out of the experience a little bit, and I don't feel entirely invested, or like I'm taking it very seriously, like I'm watching it very closely. I'm kind of just withdrawn a bit, is the best way I can describe it. Maybe for you guys, whoever's viewing, girls, whatever, that's not the case, and maybe for this one, for you, was a huge shocker. But for me, it was like, these characters have been added in after the first season anyway, and now we're getting the end of season 2, so it's like, I don't know, and who knows even where they're going to go from here, and what's going to happen with Big Jim going forward. So, yeah. It was shot well for the most part. It looked good for the most part, but it's just our attachments to those particular characters didn't. It hit hard in terms of a character death to see them, but it didn't hit that hard, is what I would say. So in terms of score, how am I going to rate this episode turn? I'm going to give it, I guess I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Okay, I think that's pretty fair. Things definitely did happen. But again, like I said earlier, sometimes I can't get into it. It's like there's too much craziness going on and under the dome for me to take it seriously sometimes. And that's the way I felt kind of about this. So the finale, Go Now, is going to air next week, and that will be it. That will be the final episode of Season 2 of Under the Dome. And I'm predicting, or I'm thinking, probably the last episode of the entire series, but we'll have to see. Hopefully it doesn't get canceled. Don't get me wrong, I'm not hoping it's going to, but based on season 2 and what they've actually given us, I can't really see how they're going to get a full season 3 out of this. Or if they do season 3, I would think it would probably be the last season, because I don't know where they're going to go with this in terms of longevity in the long term. I just don't know how much mileage the show has. So let me know what you guys think about that. Let me know what you think about the deaths. Let me know what you think about the story, and how you're feeling leading up to the season finale of Under the Dome Season 2. Those are kind of my thoughts. Been a little bit disappointed by Season 2 as a whole compared to Season 1. Thought Season 1 was, I was digging it more. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about all that, and I'll call it here. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you for the next one. This is Trev, as always, saying peace.